Hi, everyone, and welcome to my Capstone Symposium presentation. My name is Caroline Pavloff, and I am with the Program on the Environment. The title of my presentation is What Does It Take to Improve Recycling Contamination in the Medical Field? For my capstone, I worked with UW Medicine, Harborview Medical Center to aid in their recycling remediation efforts. My work is important because in a world where the population continues to rise and therefore more resources are being used, recycling is a key tool to minimize waste. Recycling also has benefits for the environment, public health, and economy. Also, waste management is often an afterthought in the medical field due to the significance of healthcare work. Recycling in the healthcare sector also differs from recycling at home or in a public setting because of the differentiated and potentially hazardous materials present. As you can see in Figure 1, hazardous materials like needles and syringes are present in this load of recycling, as well as non-recyclable materials like gloves and paper towels. In Seattle, when a commercial load of recycling is contaminated by over 15%, the load is rejected and sent to the landfill. This means that potentially recyclable materials are being wasted and sent to the landfill. With the high amount of waste associated with medical centers, it is crucial to minimize contamination and maximize recycling potential. So we asked the question, what are the best practices for recycling within the medical field? To investigate this question, I interned with UW Medicine Harborview Medical Center in the summer of 2024. First, I conducted a literature review on recycling remediation programs and best practices for recycling in healthcare facilities, as well as surveyed hospital staff on their recycling knowledge. From there, I completed visual waste audits of 321 waste bins across Harborview. The level of contamination found in each bag was recorded on a scale. High meant hazardous material was found, or more than 50% of the bag of recycling was contaminated. Medium meant that less than 25% of the bag had contamination, and low meant that less than 10% of the bag was contaminated. After the visual audits were completed, 4 departments with the highest levels of contamination were chosen to be a part of the recycling remediation pilot program. The best practice remediation efforts were applied to these 4 pilot departments. Through my research and work at Harborview, I found 5 strategies to be the most effective in a recycling remediation program within a healthcare setting. The first and most important strategy was creating new bin signage. Research indicates that including highly visible signage above every waste bin that is tailored to the type of materials found in each department can have a significant impact on recycling remediation efforts. Therefore, new landfill, recycling, and compost signage was developed for the 4 pilot programs with yes/no instructions, including images of items commonly found in each department. Figure 2 is an example of trash, recycling, and compost signage developed for the clinical departments at Harborview. The second most effective strategy was employee training and education. Research indicates that giving employees face-to-face trainings with items commonly found in their department is a great way to change recycling behaviors. Therefore, specialized trainings, including the rhetoric of recycling in a healthcare facility, was given to as many employees in the 4 pilot departments as possible. These trainings educate employees on how to recycle and modify employee attitudes. The third most important strategy is bin placement and alignment. Research suggests that having all 3 bins located next to each other in the order trash, recycling, compost helps to have recycling become habitual among employees, and eventually they will not have to think about where each bin is located. The fourth most effective strategy was creating new informational signage for Harborview. This signage explains the rhetoric of recycling in a hospital, interesting recycling statistics, and follow-up links if employees were left with any questions. This signage was placed in high foot traffic areas such as bathrooms and break rooms. The final strategy implemented was the creation of a website for key recycling information at Harborview. This website included digital images of the bin and informational signage, as well as a gamified interactive quiz for employees to test their recycling knowledge. In terms of before and after results, the recycling remediation efforts demonstrated success with recycling behavior among employees as depicted in Figure 3. High contamination decreased from 28% to 10%, medium contamination decreased from 30% to 21%, and low contamination rates increased from 42% to 69%. Although there is still work to be done, this success rate demonstrates the effectiveness of the 5 key remediation strategies. The implications of my research demonstrate that a larger effort should be put into recycling programs because they can create benefits for healthcare facilities, such as cost reductions, better environmental practices, and they can create an overall good reputation for the medical center. In order for these recycling programs to be successful, buy-in from hospital administration is key due to the need for funding and human resources. Finally, creating specific recycling and waste management teams can increase the success of recycling programs because the labor involved with implementing a recycling remediation program on a hospital-wide scale can be quite demanding. Specific teams can ensure the work is done quickly and smoothly and is consistently being updated. Thank you so much for joining me today. I would like to thank my site supervisor, Gabriella Henkels, my faculty advisor, Gary Handwork, as well as my friends and family. You have all been extremely supportive, and I appreciate all the help.